Hello and welcome. It is the evening edition to a crypto technical analysis video. My name is Derek. All bets, trades of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. But let's start off with Forex. How exciting is it? When I mean exciting, I mean, well, whatever word you want to use. Is that the Canadian dollar and the Australian dollar? Maybe it is exciting for some people, and unlikely. There possibly could be somebody who trades this even now and again. Starting off within the daily chart, I'm not going to talk about technicals. The highest price is about 1.1, and the lowest is about 1.023. If you found a crypto priced against Bitcoin that was unable to break 1100 Satoshi above or staying above 1022 and doing so for almost a year, I mean, really? And on the weekly chart, I guess we could make the range 10964 down to, well, 900. Yeah, imagine going from 1100 Satoshi down to 964. And that's all it's done in like over a 3 year period. And the monthly chart, a little bit more. Now the high is instead of 110 up to about 140. That's over 50% from low to high in a span of, well, this entire run, now spanning on almost 25 years. Volatility to say is microscopic in this? Yeah, it is. But the buy low, sell high strategy would work in this. It's just over a 20-year period, and the amount of returns that you're able to get, well, it most certainly would be limited. Switching over to cryptos and using code GRS on the 15-minute time, well, it has a low north of 8,000, even close to 8,100, a little below, and a high near 8,450. That's only about 4%. And really, the word only, meaning it's lower, most certainly should fit description. On the daily chart, I mean, there's 40%, 50, the whole volatility of a market over 30 years being like 50, 60%. I mean, really? Well, here you have 57 up to 20,000. A 4x move has given more than half of its gains back thus far from the March highs. And on the weekly, when you're able to get volatility like this, just magnificent to say the least. And that's what this has. And a lot of cryptos will continue to do so or start to do so depending on which one you're doing. New coins would be the best words to say on start. And recently I played this game. I downloaded data from the GRS. I'll show you how I do that very soon. I downloaded the data from the Bitcoin price. I didn't plan on it. I can even show you how to do that as well. And then I made a spreadsheet so that what I would do is just go through every single day and the prices would move. This was the GRS close, high, and low. This I put in the price of Bitcoin at the time. And I started this back going to 2015 when Bitcoin prices were 230 some odd dollars. And I started this with owning one Bitcoin, zero US dollars, and zero GRS. These are completed trades down in here. These are buys of the coin. This is sells of it. All of these would be completed back and forth, not counting this. This was the first trade on the open. I had one Bitcoin, so I thought, okay, in the game, I'm going to put 0.32 of the value at 79 Satoshi cost only to start. The price action on that is like 100 times higher now. And over a few years, a lot of these coins could very easily be that way. And they don't even have to do that. For you're always just trying to pick away at as many of the up and down swings. The more volume that you get, the more trades that you make, especially when you're looking for these decent sized plays, when you get this many, you can have extreme profits. There were a few trades that I did setting up. Okay, well, the US dollar was this, so situations where I would buy and sell against the US dollar, which you can do in the crypto space if one desires to do such. And amongst it, after starting with one Bitcoin, the Bitcoin value would go up 200 times. Just me playing this game in like, I don't know, 4 hours, 3.5 hours. And having that worth 1 million. On the highs, back when it was January of 2018, this thing was like 2.2 million. So I've seen it go down half its value from Bitcoin prices at around 20,000 down to 5,000. But to go from one Bitcoin value to 207 in a few years, I mean, that's what I talk about when I say it's a long term game. If I can get 3, 4 years of these markets moving the way I want to, holy bazinga, that could be pretty interesting to say the least. So far, I've had a couple of years and I've done very well in that period of time. But like anyone else, since the 2018 high, I'm down, and a lot of other people would be as well in the crypto trade. All right. So, yeah, having 94,000 US dollars and setting it up this way. This was selling Bitcoin at 798. Didn't get that buyback at all. And then selling at 1256, 2000, 38, 7000, 13, and then the 19. So within this and here, you can just see making plays like this. At first, I gave up 9.12 Bitcoin to get 175K. And then when it came back down to 10, half its value, I took 125 of that 175. Thus, you'd be keeping 50, and you'd be gaining like 3.4 Bitcoin on this. And then it went down in here. So the 6,878 would have been a spot of buying back this in here. So 100,000, I kept 25,000 in the game. I would have gained over 5 Bitcoins on the situation. And how you play, it's the game. You're the one that makes the decision upon it. That's what is so amazing about it. And yes, so as far as this is LibreOffice. The Microsoft Office system, I'm sure, is magnificent for doing this. But I get this program for free. This is a spreadsheet I have been using for about 13 years now, and I love it. It works out really well. And this is where you can find it on the internet. You can download it for free. And I'm sure it helps that when I entered into a computers class in grade 10 back in the year 1990, that I seen a spreadsheet for the first time and I was beyond fascinated at that point. So, yes, I got a big love for them, but the more you know about it, the better if you can learn it and do that. That can be a huge advantage in so many ways in life, but it's definitely in almost so many different ways that can you can calculate and work with data so magnificently in a spreadsheet. So here I am on cryptocompare.com. And let's just assume that I wanted to get some data. And I'm going to look at LITECOIN next on the charts. But if I wanted this data, you're going to need to sign in. I'm signed in right now through Google. And I'm going to type in AID and come up with LITECOIN. There we go. So it's going to load up. Now what I do to get the charts, the first thing I do is I push Advanced Chart. I like the logarithmic. I don't need it. I'm just getting the data. Then I'm going to want the time frame I want, which is in almost everything is like all data. There we have it. And then in here we're going to see, let me just go like this so you can see better. This little save button. We got a PNG, don't want that, a JPEG. I don't even know what an SVG is. A CSV file probably would work because that's data. Don't know what a JSON is, but I do know this is a spreadsheet file, which is what I pick. And I've gotten a thing right now to say open, save, or cancel. You can't see me push it, but I'm going to push the open button. And it's going to pop up right now. It's already done so. Here we have it. There's the spreadsheet. There's my data. It says read only, but if I would have saved it and opened it, I don't think it would have been. And I can just copy and paste what I need. Okay, let's just take all of this. Okay, let's go. Maybe just go. I don't. It's only going to be a few days, and maybe I want the column on top. So let's just replace the 2 here with a 1. I can just copy this, and I don't need the spreadsheet anymore. I can load up, say, this one here. Maybe just open up a quick little sheet, paste the data. Now I can work with this if I so choose to. And I don't know if I will or not, but just showing you how to easily get data. I get my Bitcoin data on bitcoincharts.com. And to get my data, I go to charts. I can get the period that I want. So I can go custom. Let's just say I want from, say, 2015 on, say, I don't know, this day here. And I can get different time frames here too. So if I want to get like hourly data and play with it, there's just so much that is available on here. And your data, load raw data, and now it's just a matter of copy and pasting, and there you go. So here we have this coin now on the trading view. Not much data here. This thing has only been around now for almost a year. But it's showing you the movements right now. So the question is, how easily is it to get good volume of trades over the next few years? 2 years, we'll say. And even what you can get between 8 to like 16 months as well. And this coin is just one example of many that can give you the volatility that can just destroy the volatility you get in the Forex market. Because we got some Aussies and Canadians who love currency that are like, hey, just wait, we're catching up. Because their volatility, as I showed on the front of this video, is nothing. And among stock market, you're just not going to get stocks, I don't think, that's going to look like this on a consistent basis. And you understand what the situation of these markets have. Obviously, the mathematics, if I'm able to buy something 30, 40% lower, 25%, whoever volatility I'm looking for, I got the opportunity to be able to get decent sized gains. I can sell 1,000 of something and maybe buy 13, 1,400 of them back. And that's a good gain. And I do that 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times over. Yeah, that becomes amazing. And as I was doing within that simulation game, in situations where this gets majorly overextended, you're just buying and selling. And what I'm doing exactly as I stated. If I sell 1,000 at some place, I'm going to try to buy back around 1,400 if the volatility says that's what the number. Meaning, for however many units of Bitcoin I sell it for, I want to use that exact same amount to buy it back until these prices get way too high. And then at that point, I would buy back less and get to a single point where it's like, okay, this thing is just up so much, I'm just going to have to sell big and go for huge buybacks. Maybe this thing goes up to 8,000, 16,000 Satoshi. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to sell a lot or whatever I can at that point because I'm always going to leave myself in line so that as the market goes higher, I put myself in better shape each time, and at some point I can go for a major trade and go for that again of a big, big sell. Then you have situations where these coins, your portfolio more importantly, but your coins are doing all this up stuff, hopefully, but Bitcoin is at the upper echelons, and well, now you can find ways of selling this for Bitcoin, selling Bitcoin for things like gold and silver, and so on and so forth. Let's move on to Theta. And this is a Fibonacci miss, as I would consider it. Hitting the support pretty much right on. 29, 28. I mean, this was a 4 basis point difference on the Satoshi. Here, however, I mean, yes, it's a pierce above, and I guess it's sort of doing its thing, but that's the least common of the three compared to Pierce Extra, Practical Exact Hit, and Pierce Higher. It's volatility since this move in here. I mean, you got like 2150 and like 2550. Yeah, that could be 18 months in the forex market. But this is 11 days of sleepy. Okay, nothing to do here, volatility on the crypto. But you're going to have these moves that come and go. I mean, right in here, we can see as this was moving up, breaking past 1300 up to 19, down to 15, and making it all the way up to 5,000, then retracing back. This is your buyback opportunity for everything that is sold, which is magnificent, of course. This day in here, which was on the final day of November, how it went from like 13 triple from like 1300 to 36, only to give it all back. Again, opportunity to get the buyback. So the more of those types of plays I can get, the better, the more apt I am to working in, and then in a risk reward strategy, playing. Really, when you consider it can be low risk, high reward kind of deal. When you feel, well, I can put, if I can turn one units and get 10, 20, 100, 200, 400, 500 times return on my investment, then how much do you really need to invest so that you can put in the largest amount to the most minimum? What does that mean? The largest amount to the most minimum. So you got X amount of cash. Therefore, you want to spend as little as possible, have as much. So you can say, okay, I can afford of say I got 100,000. I can easily afford $50. Yeah, that's not much. But doing 25,000 might be excessive. So let's find a number in between, the highest you can that's small. All right. Don't think I got anything more to talk about because Bitcoin really isn't doing too much. Still holding in there on the weekly chart, and the week is almost over too, so it's a nice little pause, progressive week for the most part. On the daily chart again, just all these days of really not doing too much. Yesterday's day, I mean, the low is 50.36, 50.37 rounded. High 51.23. That's a differential of like some 1.5, like 70, 80 points, so like 1.5%. Which I've seen smaller, but wow, that's still low. Really, just okay. We'll just wait and see for the markets to have its move. The fact that it's holding these gains like this, because if you would have said that it was able to come up to there like and stay above 5,000 for that, I would have been like, wow, considering that 5,000 to me should have been solid resistance. Okay, that's my personal spreadsheet. This is the one that I wanted to go to again to finish off this video. But amongst this strategy, it works. I use it in real life. I have talked upon ends about it. And if you are not, excuse me, if you're not too familiar with it, but you want to learn more, I have a whole bunch of good information in the more information box. I have the first part of a 7-part series as well as another one when you trade two altcoins together, because I looked at the data from GRS and DGB together and oh my goodness, how volatile and magnificent that is. But those links can help you determine how strategies can work, help you on position sizes, and things of that nature. So thank you for tuning in and have yourself a magnificent rest of the weekend. Bye bye.